you know, very high percents and whatnot. Beyond that, I mean, beyond that, the combo game is still there. Our out of shield options, you know, Nair is still very, very good. You know, I mean, survivability factor, just the raw neutral and float and whatnot. It never left, really. And, you know, Deltaforce, you know, being one of Jersey's best players, consistent. You want to talk about consistency when you were talking about the Steez. I mean, this is one of the most consistent players in Tri-State, beyond even just Jersey necessarily. A very frequent member of the New Jersey PR. I don't think he's missed New Jersey. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you even know this off the top of your head, Gabe, but I don't think he's missed New Jersey PR since he first got on it.
I think he missed it once.
If he did, I could be completely wrong about that. All I'm saying is that regardless if that's true or not, he's one of the most consistent players to do it. Out here against Jukain, rocking the Fire Peach. I like to see that. This is one of my favorite alts for sure.
Dark Link versus Fire Peach. We're going to see who can make the best of this set right now. Like I said before, these two consistently play into each other a lot. And it's always a close one. It's always a nail-biter. Sometimes they go to game 3. Despite what you see, what you hear, Deltaforce's PR player, well, Jukain may have never been in the PR, but he plays like if he belongs there.
Oh, the situation was right there for the forward there, my friend, but he just didn't want to take off the crown in front of Link, huh?
It's crazy because how do you react to that? How do you know for sure I'm going to hit you? Because, you know, the bomb placement depends on your opponent. The way you throw the turnip depends on you, obviously, but yeah, how do you react to that? How do you know what your opponent's going to do?
I don't think he did necessarily. Yeah. He threw the turnip, but it was just kind of like no disrespect to Jukain, it's kind of like a mindless Peach thing because he threw the turnip, not realizing that it didn't necessarily slow down off of the bomb, off of the knockback of the bomb explosion that Deltaforce did to himself. And as a result, I think he expected Link to fly further, which is why he went for the up air instead of the forward air right there. But same situation, just on the other end of the spectrum as that boomerang coming back to haunt Deltaforce right there, not being able to take the stock first. Jukain still hanging on.
Yep. You're gonna have to just brush that off, Deltaforce. You're gonna have to keep fighting. It seems like Jukain is doing a good job, even though he did lose the stock. He was able to rack up a quick 67, and then some already. One thing that Deltaforce has to not do is not get too greedy. I mean, with Link, you have to set up the boomerang. You want to have the bomb present just in case you need to pull it out. But more importantly, you just need to get in Peach's face. You can't allow...
Just spacing. He was just far away enough. The range was maxed with the sword off of the jab, and it just he was far enough away to avoid the fungus hitbox. That's all.
I literally thought the bomb just completely just disregarded.
Oh, I see what you're saying. That would have been crazy.
No,
I don't think. What?
No, that's literally what I thought. I'm just like,
I don't think that's what happened, but that would have been. I see what you're saying.
Well, also,
and that
the bomb didn't even move after getting hit with the fungus or the toad.
I'm liking how Deltaforce is adapting here because one thing that I say this every time Deltaforce is on stream and I'm commentating. He likes to be the aggressive Link, likes to mash the neutral air, which out-prioritizes just about every damn move in this game for some reason. You know, it's funny the discipline check here of just relying more on like your ranged moves instead, as that back air is going to take the stock. Range moves that avoid the counter hit of the fungus right there in Toad. Pretty nutty situation. Link is he's usually the one that's way more used to like being able to control space with the Nair. He'll just like short hop, fast fall, land Nair in place, like the shuffle Nair. This is my space right now. Peach, with her movement and her float being what it is, as well as just the risk of her punish game from just any angle, she kind of doesn't care about that. Link can just like sort of spam that in place. It really doesn't matter because right there, he's just going to reset back to neutral. I can just back air you off of the platform instead. It's a relatively safe option on top of that unless I drift in and make it too committal. And then if I hit you, you're going to wind up taking way more damage instead of me.
Right. Now, we haven't really been seeing much of a turnip game be a huge factor.
I think that first stock scarred him. Like after he threw out off of the bomb toss. And it's looking like he doesn't even need it. Jukain taking game 1 against Deltaforce.
That's exactly where I was going to go with. Usually in that kind of scenario, you're just like, well, I'm Peach. I only have one projectile. I'm going against a fully projectile character who wants to set up. I should be the aggressor, right? No. In this case, like you mentioned before, Deltaforce was playing a lot more aggressive, trying to get in, trying to force Peach into a lot of scenarios. He was able to get a good few stocks off of it, but when it mattered, the moment that Deltaforce got in Jukain's face, that's when Jukain just started taking advantage of those moments. Like, all right, you want to land on me? Let me do my Peach strings, my Peach combos. And then once you land on me again, like we saw there with that up smash to finalize that game 1 stock, yeah, you're going to see Jukain run away with it.
And he completely baited him to make him land on top of him, too. Deltaforce knows better. You don't get to be a player at his level and be as consistently ranked in a stacked as hell state like New Jersey unless you're aware of situations like that. What Jukain did is that he float canceled underneath the platform to bait him into drifting back towards center, and that's when he up smashed. He didn't just drift into him like a mindless sod like I would have done if I was sitting there playing there instead. No, it was completely different. That was baits on the part of Jukain. Liking almost everything about this play right now, except for the fact that he's playing Peach instead of Daisy. He's not rocking Best Girl right now, and I might have to have a stern talking with him later about that. But that's for later. This is now. We'll wind up seeing if he's able to take the upset against Deltaforce in the meantime right now. Deltaforce hanging back with all the projectiles instead. Might have learned a couple of lessons from the first game, Gabe OG.
On paper, this may be an upset, but the reality is these two players are fairly even against each other. I mean, they both go the distance. Oh my gosh, no! Bomb for bomb! Okay, nothing happens.
Okay, good timing on the jump from ledge, just making sure to keep the invulnerability with the proper frames.
Peach
it's always scary, man.
Peach really said, hey, you have a bomb? I have one too. Let me throw it. What does yours do?
These aren't turnips made in a turnip factory. They're bombs. From a bomb factory.
I was hoping to buy one, man.
Wait! That was a good focus. Wait! You gotta check out that F smash. Really good stock coming out from Deltaforce.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
Bomb won't be a factor there, but Boomerang is going to push Jukain off stage. It's little interactions like that where it's just like, you know what? It's a Boomerang, whatever. But look, Jukain had all the time in the world to get back on stage, and just with that Boomerang interaction, Deltaforce stole stage control and now has him at 89%.
Talk about Boomerang interactions. He got hit by every projectile
Literally.
off of the ledge right there. The ledge trapping has been immaculate that entire sequence on the part of Deltaforce. You see him jumping up, catching to try to see if Jukain was going to force a fast fall. Potentially he could up B. Probably not worth the risk to do something like that against Peach with how crazy this character's combo game is, and the fact that you're at relatively low percent, and she's at higher rage. So it's a pretty good discipline check on the part of Deltaforce as that Z-drop bomb. Barely not going to do it against Peach. I don't think she's going to live another one of those, Gabe, as we're probably going to find out momentarily. Not even needing to, baiting that option in the first place by just Z-dropping it, waiting for the roll. The best players get hit by that, man. It just goes to show how good of an option it is for Link.
Oh, no, for sure. I mean, Link not being a common character in the current meta nowadays, still... You're seeing the likes of people like Deltaforce just making sure people are reminded, you know what, Link is a character in this game. Link does have sauce, and that Nair, like you mentioned in the first game, is definitely just a demon.
He's one of the best ones in the world for a reason.
Pretty sure he's top 3 in the world.
Something like that, yeah. It's just like T and one other player whose name escapes me right now.
It don't even matter because Jukain is not escaping that F-tilt as Deltaforce bouncing back from game 1.
You ain't my princess. Get out of here. You're not the one I'm supposed to read. Mine's in another castle. Get out of here. Take a look at this sequence once again. Throwing up with the bomb, forcing Jukain to go low, just waiting for a roll option. Needed something intangible out of the corner. That little foxtrot forward to get the spacing for the F-tilt as well. Knowing that the bomb was going to do the rest of the work, or the Boomerang, I should say, was going to do the rest of the work on the way back in. It's just a matter of spatial awareness and to play with sort of an aggressive mentality or an aggressive mindset, knowing that that's how you want to play the character, knowing you can control space in that kind of way. It's second to none and just scary when you're fighting a player like Deltaforce. Even in a character like Peach, played by Jukain, who I feel like should do as good of a job negating Link as much as many other characters in this cast due to the float options. Assuming Jukain might have to play a little more patiently instead, but who knows? I mean, the spacing on the part of Deltaforce is something immaculate. I'm assuming we're going back to PS3.
There was a bit of wandering around trying to find a stage, but it seemed like Deltaforce did ban the stages that Jukain would have gone to in these cases. However, very neutral stage. This is the home of Tri-State, of course. PS2, never a bad stage for any character. However, it is a great start coming out for Deltaforce up until I said something, and now Jukain stole the lead. That's the thing. Yeah, commentators curse is still.
You were so smooth with that. Up until I said something. That's how it works, man. There's the turn-up, catching that with the neutral air himself. Yeah, that's the scary thing. You can do aggressive nairs in the face of the turn-up like that, because not only will it catch the turn-up, even if you miss, It does not matter because of the priority of Link's neutral air. Even if you miss, it's going to clank with it instead, or at the very least go around. Or you'll get hit by it if you're the one who's drifting in like Jukain was with it there. It's such a scary thing when dealing with that move, man. It's so good.
The aggressor is usually
See
the
right
one
there,
that,
he
yeah.
just like spammed it again, and then the turnip doesn't do anything.
The aggressor is usually the one that gets punished, and I mean, with that aggression that we saw from that first stock, Jukain lost his stock immediately. But now we're seeing a little bit more pressure coming out from Deltaforce, and it seems like Jukain's starting to find his way back into this game. If he's able to steal the stock, we could see ourselves in a nail biter set right now.
There's sort of a poetic justice in what you said right there. The aggressor gets punished first. I like to think Sakurai designed this game as an allegory for life. Hopefully we can ask him about it one day. Anyway. All right. I like that option, holding down into the platform. You're a floaty, so you kind of have to do it if you want to get your iframes out for the platform, or for the roll, the tech roll, I should say, to avoid that forward air. Having such a hard time getting in on the part of Jukain right now. This adaptation has been coming out in full force. Deltaforce, remembering the weight and sort of gravity of this character, I should say, in order to just know how to just create a no-fly zone. This is my stage. I'm pressing all sorts of buttons on the way back in.
Do not be fooled by the percentage count right now. I mean, like we mentioned before, Peach has a real strong combo game. We could see that be a factor coming into the second stock, but before he gets any combos going, he has to get out of this corner, which we've seen the way Deltaforce just plays at the corner with these projectiles, and somehow, some way, the bomb decides to slip its way off the ledge and just cause some chaos and take the stock.
Did you see how aggressively Jukain nodded his head?
He does that.
I know he does. Oh!
Whoa!
Oh!
Even the turnip adding a little bit of extra damage there. I feel like the turnip actually evaded with a little bit of knockback. Could have been a better string right there for Jukain, but even then, 173 tacked on. Peach is definitely just one booty bop away from taking the stock. But
he was not able to get his turnaround out in time to be able to grab that bomb like he wanted. Either that or he was trying to bait him or something. This is scary, though. Maximum rage.
Oh, no.
Yeah, did not want to go for the grab. I think he recognized that the pushback, not of the down smash, I should say, but the spacing combined with the pushback was just enough because of the way that hurt boxes interact with each other in this game, to the point where Link was not going to be able to grab him there due to the body block. So I really like the discipline check, even though it's only a jab, not probably what he wanted, even though he wanted to grab. It was smart of him to go for that option instead, knowing this is the best way I can actually hit him out of this scenario right here. There's the boomerang on the way back with the bomb, tilting a little bit. Such a scary ledge trap scenario. How does Jukain get out of this?
Ooh, that one hurt. That one definitely hurt Jukain, and it seemed like things were starting to patch up, and I'm finally back on stage. I can finally get something going. No, Link spacing with the F tilt to seal the stock. Deltaforce definitely shaking himself off of that one. Like, all right, I got the win, but I can't be too confident. I can't be too happy with it. I did give up a game, and the competition's only going to get tougher from here from here on out.
Yeah, it definitely is, especially in like a bracket as stacked as this one. You don't want to get sent down to losers too early. It's just par for the course with how it goes, really. I love the adaptation from Deltaforce, like focusing way more on like knowing how to control space against a character that's usually, I want to say, a little bit better at negating it, as well as having good out of shield options to negate that even further. The baits were good, the baits were there, but unfortunately that's not going to matter if you're not able to keep him in that situation throughout the set in the first place. Let's take a look at this scenario again. Just a little foxtrot, boomerang to cover. It's scary because, like, what was your option there besides just holding shield? Maybe, best case scenario for Jukain, the boomerang doesn't chip away at his shield too bad, and the F tilt will still get the block instead of shield poking. Deltaforce fully anticipated the opposite, and at least a drop shield is what he wound up getting in that situation regardless.
Nonetheless, it was still a real tight set through and through. Jukain just really showing that, he's right there. He's right there from being able to play with the very best. And even then, when it comes down to it, whenever he goes against a PR player, he's making sure it goes to last stock. He's making sure he takes a game. He's making sure he does something so that people can put some respect in his name. And as active as he's been since the Smash 4 days, he only seems to be getting better and better with time.